Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, we saw IAM, Identity and Access Management. We saw what are the different features provided by IAM and what are how to create IAM and what is an IAM policy. Let us recall some few points from yesterday's session. That is, IAM, Identity and Access Management, enables us to grant permissions and it enables us to securely contact user access to all AWS services and resources. We saw there are different features provided by it like shared access, granular permissions, secure access, identity federation, identity information, PCI DSS compliance, password policy, and multi-factor authentication. Apart from this, we saw what IAM policy is. IAM policy is a document which contains permissions, and there are 200 predefined policies in AWS, out of which we discussed the three important policies. Those are administrative access policies, Amazon EC2 full access policy, and Amazon S3 read-only access policy. We also created a IAM policy, that is, we created a read-only policy that is accessed with a S3 service, simple storage service. Today we'll be learning IAM users, what are IAM users, IAM groups, IAM roles, how to create these IAM users, rules and groups, and the best practices of IAM, identity and access management. Now, for accessing IAM, what you have to do is you have to log in into AWS Management Console, and you have to get into the service security, identity and compliance. Here you have the service IAM, identity and access management. So this is the dashboard of IAM, in which yesterday we saw how to create a policy. Now today let us learn what are groups, what are users, what are rules. Now coming to what are IAM users. Users are someone that they can be people or system which use our AWS resources. Let me show you that. Here, there are generally three types of IAM users. Excuse me. Yeah, there are generally three types of IAM users. One is admin, who can have administrative access to all the AWS services present in our IAM sector, and the second one are the end users who can only use AWS resources which admin allows them to use, and the fourth one and the third one are systems, and these systems need permission to access our data. So the IAM users are nothing but someone who access our data, whether they might be admins who can have administrative access with complete AWS resources, or the end users who have only access to few resources which are provided by admin user, and there might be systems which need permissions to access our data. Now AWS provides us number of ways to access these IAM users, and these IAMs have 5 kinds of security credentials in them. Now, let us see what are the different security credentials provided by this IAM and IAM identity and access management users. The first one is email address and password. Whenever you at the starting, this we create first while creating a Amazon account. We will be asked to create a username and we will be asked to create a password. Through this, we can access management console, discussion forums, and support center. So the first security credential is email address and password, which everyone creates while they want to access this Amazon Web Services. And through this email address and password, we can access management console, discussion forums, and support centers. What we should do is we must not share this email address and password with anyone. Now moving on, the second one is IAM username and password. We create IAM username and password, and using this each user can have their own passwords and can access management console, discussion forums, and support centers. This is different from the email address and password. Generally, email address and password is created by a admin or a cloud provider who have who can access all the resources that are present in Amazon Web Services Management Console. Moving on to the second one, that is IAM username and password. This is created by users who use generally these are the end users who use our resources that are provided by the admin, and what they do is they create a username and password, or admin can create a username and password for them, and using this each user can have their own passwords, and they can access management console, and in this management console they can access only a few services that are provided to them, and moving on they can access discuss forms and support center. And the third one is a security credential is multi-factor authentication. AWS provides a number of ways to provide a secure user access to our AWS resources. This is a multi-factor authentication where we want users to have a 6-digit code to log in into their account and access the resources provided to them. Every time they log in, they must provide a 6-digit code which is automatically generated, and they have to give that code in order to access their resources. The fourth one here is access keys. AWS provides a number of ways to provide secure user access to our AWS resources, and these access keys are provided whenever we set a new user. We use this to sign problematic things. What we have is an access key ID or a secret access key through which we can log in into some resources only we can access, and we can't share this access key with others. Moving on to the fifth one, that is key page. So key page, we use this key page when we are accessing Amazon CloudFront. Generally, CloudFront is used when we need to monitor what people, or track what people, what users are using from our data. There are private keys and public keys which we use, and we can connect them to Amazon EC2 or Amazon CloudFront. So those are the 5 security credentials provided by IAM users or Identity and Access Management service. I hope everyone is clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now.
Continue.
Yeah. So far we discussed what are IAM users. IAM users are nothing but the users who access our data. There can be 3 types of IAM users. One is admin, who have administrative control to all the resources present in the console, and the second one are end users who can have access to a limited resources that are that they are being provided with, and the third one is systems which need the permissions to access our data. Coming to security credentials provided by Identity Access Management, there are 5 security credentials. First one, email address and password, which everyone needs to create while creating a AWS Management Console account, and this must not be shared with people. And the second one is IAM username and password, which might be created by the admin or the users who need to access a few resources that will be provided to them, and through this username and password they can access management console, default forums, and security console. And the third one is multi-factor authentication, where people need to give a 6-digit code whenever they need to log in and use their resources. The fourth one is access key, where they have access key ID and secret access key, and it is provided whenever we set a new user, and we use this to sign problematic things. The fifth one and the last security credential is the key page, where we use when we are using CloudFront to track what users are using from our data. This key page can be linked with Amazon EC2 or Amazon CloudFront. So this was all about IAM users. Moving on to the second topic of today, that is IAM groups. So groups, IAM groups are something we use They are the collection of users that have own set of permissions. Let me explain you a scenario. Suppose that we are the security credential providers and we provide uh, the email logins for every employee of our company. So assume that there are two different things in our company. One is related to developers and other is related to admins. So whenever a developer joins, what we as admins have to do is we have to provide him with Amazon EC2 things to develop, and we have to give him develop credentials. Whenever a admin a person related to admin joins, then what we have to do is we have to log in and give him the admin credentials. This must be repeated whenever a new employee joins into our company, whether it might be a developer or whether it might be an admin. What we have to do is we have to log in and we have to provide him with all the credentials that he needs to access the company resources. This is a time taking process because we are logging and providing him all the security credentials every time for a new employee, right? What we do is we create a group for developers and we create a group for admins. We create a password and we create a credentials, similar credential to all the developers, and we created similar credentials for all the admins. Then through this, what we can do is whenever new employee joins, if he is related to developer, he will be having the developer credentials. If he is related to admins, then he will be having the admin credentials. And through those credentials, he can access all the Amazon instances, or all the resources provided by the company. So that's about the IAM groups. I hope everyone understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So that's about IAM groups. What we do is in IAM groups, we have these are the collection of users that have their own set of permissions. Whether it might be a development, they will be having their own set of permissions and their own set of credentials. If they are related to admins, they will be having their set of credentials and their set of permissions. And through this, what we gain is we save our time, and we don't need to log in and provide the credential to every employee that joins, whether he is a developer or he is an admin. And that's about IAM groups. Moving on, the third topic, IAM roles. Roles can be used to provide access to those users or applications and services that don't have permissions to use AWS resources to access them. Generally, there are few users, applications, or services that can't have permissions to, that don't have permission to access the resources in the AWS. And for that type of users or applications or servers, we use IAM roles. Generally, an IAM role is very similar to a user, that is it will be having the permissions as the user has, and AWS identity with permission policies that determine the access availability to the identity. In IAM role, we don't need a password or access key required. Generally, we require for a password and access key in IAM user and IAM groups. But in IAM roles, we don't require password or access keys. And IAM roles can be assumed by anyone who requires it. Whoever needs, where if we create IAM role, we can give them, and we can they can require they can require all the resources we have created in a IAM role. So that's all about IAM roles. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So an IAM role is very similar to a user. It will be having the permissions policies that determine the access availability to the identity. There is no password required or access key required. This can be assumed by anyone who requires it. We use IAM rules, and these IAM roles can be used to provide access to those users or applications or services that don't have permission to use AWS resources to access them. So that's all about IAM users, IAM roles, and IAM groups. Now, let us discuss how to create these IAM users or groups or roles. Now, to create IAM user or IAM groups or IAM roles, what you have to do is you have to log in into your AWS management console and you have to get into the service security, identity and compliance, and here you have to get into IAM, identity and access management dashboard. So here, as you can see, this is the dashboard of identity and access management IAM. Now let us first create groups. So to create groups, on the left hand side of the dashboard, you will be having an option called groups. Click on groups. Here you can see there are no groups created so far. So let us create an IAM group, identity and access management group, so that users don't need to be granted permissions individually. What we do is we create a group for admin or development, and we don't require to grant permissions individually. So let us do that. For doing that, you have to get into IAM dashboard and click on groups. Click on create new group. Here we have to give a group name. I am giving a group name as BAIM. Now click on, generally to create a group there are three steps. One is group name, the second one is we have to attach a policy, and the third one is we'll be reviewing our group. Now moving on. Sorry. First, let us create a IAM user, and then we'll be discussing about these groups. Now, to create a IAM, identity and access management user, we have to get into IAM, identity and access management dashboard. And here in dashboard, you will be having on the left hand side, you will be having an option users. Click on users. Now you can see there is already a user created and his age is 33 days. From past 33 days, this has been active. And now let us create a new user and this password to log. And we'll now be creating a user and password, and we'll be logging into AWS console without using a shared account. Let us do that. For doing that, on the left hand side of IAM dashboard, you'll be having an option users. Click on that, and here click on add user. So the first one here is you have to give a username. Let us give a username. I'm giving it as BAIM user. Now we can also add users, different number of users if we want. I'm just adding one this time. Now the second one we have to do is we have to select AWS access type. So coming to access type, there are two types of access types. One is programmatic access and the second one is AWS management console access. Now the first one, programmatic access, is enables an access key ID and secret access key for the AWS API, CLI, SDK and other development tools. If we select AWS management console access, what we can have is we can enable a password that allows users to sign into AWS management console. Now what we do is we select both of the access types. So here we can see it has asked us whether we want a auto-generated password or a custom password. If you want a custom password, then you can select this and you can have your password. And this option belongs to require password reset. User must create a new password at next sign in or not. Uh, this can be seen in a scenario whenever you log in into our KLU accounts. What we have to do is we have to change our password and set a new password, right? That option is here, and if you select this, every time the user, first time he logins with the custom password and the second time he has to create his own password. You can select or deselect that. Now I'm selecting the auto generated password, deselecting this option. So these are the details you have to give. The first one is you have to set a username for your user, and I gave the name as BAIM user. And moving on to the second one, there are access types. There are two types of access types. One is programmatic access, which enables access key ID and secret access ID. And the second one is AWS Management Console access, where we will be enabling a password that allows users to sign in to Amazon Management Console. We selected that both, and moving on to console password, we selected the auto-generated password. We can also give a custom password, and here we can select whether users have to create their password on while signing in or not. Now, after giving all the details, click on next. So these is related to groups, which we'll be discussing later. Now we have set the permissions. Click on next tags. If you want to give any tags, you can give them here. I'm not giving any. Review. So yes, this our username, and this is the access type, and console password type, required password reset, and this is the thing. Now click on create user. So yes, our password is our user is created, and here is the access key, and here is the password for management console. Through this, the users can log in to Amazon Management Console. That is this link. Users with Amazon Management Console. So if you save this, we can download this user, and through downloading, we can save the access key and password. If we get into this link, and we can log into the link through this password or through this access key. So that's how we create user, IAM user. I hope everyone is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So this is the user we created. Let us see the details in it. Here you can see, here we can add permissions for our user if we want to add, and these are the groups. There are no groups added to our user, and these are the tags. We have not given any tags. If you want to add tags, you can do that. If you want to add groups, you can do that here. If you want to give permissions, you can give that here. Moving on to access advisor, you can see access advisor shows the services that the user can access and when those services were last accessed. So we haven't used any access, so there are no access advisors yet. Moving on to security credentials. So these are the security credentials. This is the summary, and we can see that this is the access key created, and here you can see when we use that access key. In SSH, we haven't given any permissions so far. If you want to give permissions, you have to get into permissions and give the permissions. Now, if you want multi-factor authentication, what you have to do is you have to click on this, and through that you can do. For that, we will be have to give permission, and after giving a permission by clicking on edit button, you can have multi-factor authentication. So that's how you create a IAM user. If you want to delete this user, you can get here, and you have an option called delete user. By clicking on that, you will be deleting the user. So that's how we create a IAM user. Now let us create a IAM group. So to create IAM group, what you have to do is you have to get into INT and access management IAM dashboard, and here on the left hand side, the first one option is group. Click on groups. Now let us create an IAM group so that user don't need to be granted permissions individually. While creating a IAM user, what we have done is we have created a password for management console and security access key. These keys must be provided individually, right? Now let us create a group and add that user. So by doing that, what we do is we create a group, and we don't need to be granting permissions individually. So to create a group, you have to click on create new group. So there are three steps in creating a group, and the first one is you have to give a name. I'm giving it as BAIM group. Click on next. Here we have to select a policy. Let us select a policy that we created yesterday. Yesterday we created a policy, right? A read only policy for our bucket. So this is the policy we created yesterday. I'm selecting that and click on next. So here is the review. This is our group name and this is the policy we selected. Now click on create group. So yes, our group is created and here you can see there are no users added to this. Let us add a user for our group. For that you have to get into the group you have created and click on the first one is user. Click on add user. Here you will be showing all the users you have created so far. Click on this is the user we created BAIM user and click on add users. So yes, we have added a user for our group. Similarly, you can add a multiple user and create a common group where we don't need where we'll be having a common credentials and common permissions and we don't require to give these permissions individually. Understood, right? Everyone clear with this? So there's also a thing like permissions. Here is the permission we have given BAM S3, which this is the policy we have created yesterday. So this is how we create a IAM group. To create a IAM group, what you have to do is you have to get into IAM management, INT and access management dashboard, and you will be having option groups. Click on groups. You have option create new group. There are three steps to create a group. The first one you have to select a group name and the second one you have to attach a policy for your group. Moving on, by clicking on after reviewing your group you can click on create new group, then group will be created and by getting into the group you can add users, you can also add permissions for your group. If you want to remove these users, here by clicking on remove users from your group you can do that. If you want to add a few more users, then by clicking on add users to the group you can do that. So this is how we create a IAM, Identity Access Management group. Moving on, let us discuss the third one, how to create a IAM roles. Generally to create a IAM role, what you have to do is you have to get into IAM dashboard and you'll be on the left hand side, you'll be having an option roles. So this is role, IAM role or a secure way to grant permissions to entities that you trust. Example, the entities includes the following: user in the other account. Generally, we'll be providing the roles to them whom we trust. And now let us create an IAM role and allocate it to EC2 instance so that users have permissions automatically to access the EC2 instance and they can through this role everyone who we trust can access the EC2 instance without any credentials. What they have is only these rules. As you can see, these are the rules already created in my IAM dashboard. Let us create a new role. For that, click on create role. Here you have to select the trusted entity. The first one, AWS service. The second one, if you want to select someone other than AWS account, you can do that by clicking this. If you want a web identity, that you can do it here. If you had SMEL 2.0 federation, you can do that here. As we have decided to create a role that so that he can access EC2. Let us select AWS service and here on common use access I'm selecting EC2. So now what he can do is he can only access EC2. Now click on next. So here we have to attach a policy in the second step. Let us attach it the policy we have created, that is BIAM S3. Click on next. Here we can give tags, that is optional and I am not giving any. So now In the last step, fourth step, we have to provide a name for our role. I'm giving it as BAIM ROLE role. And here you can see the role description. It allows EC2 instances to call AWS services on our behalf. So this is the trusted entity, that is the AWS service, and this is the policy we have attached to this role. Now, in the last step, you have to click on create role. So yes, our role is created. You can search it here, BAIM role. So this is the role we have created so far. Here you can, by getting into role, you can attach policies, few more policies if you want to attach. You can also add trusted relationship. You can edit that if you want. You can have tags to add it, and you can have access advisor and revoke sessions. Revoke sessions has the code for our JSON code. I told you what JSON code is. So this is how we create IAM role. So I hope everyone is clear on how to create a IAM group. Let me explain you again. Creating a role, you have to get into roles on the left hand side of our IAM dashboard, and by clicking on create role, you'll be having 4 steps. The first one, you have to select the trusted identity. In the second step, you have to give the name. In the third step, you have to provide, you can review, and the fourth step, by adding the policy, you can, by clicking on create role, you'll be created with a new role. So that is how we create IAM roles. So yes, I hope everyone is clear on how to create IAM user, or how to create IAM group, or how to create IAM role. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So let us move on to the last topic of IAM, identity access management. That is the best practices of identity and access management. So the first best practice is we have to create individual IAM users. By doing this, every user has unique credentials. We can control permissions at an individual level, and it is easier to rotate credentials. There are no shared accounts, and it is easier to identify security breaches. So what we have to do is, first we have to create individual IAM users for every user. And the second one is, the second best practice is we have to grant least privilege. We have to only grant permissions that are required. We have to start with minimum permissions. We shouldn't go to maximum permissions and grant them all permissions. We have to give them minimum permissions. It is easier to grant permissions than revoke them, and we can protect our assets by doing this. And the third best practice is to manage permissions with groups. By doing this, what we can do is, generally we create groups and we minimize our workload. And this is easier to assign permissions to groups than users. If you want if you have a new permission, if you have only users, then it takes a huge amount of time to go individually and provide them with those permissions. If you have groups, and under these groups there will be all the users, and it is easier to assign the permissions to groups. So it is simpler to reassign permissions or add new users into the groups. I told you how to add users into the groups. It is very easier to add users into the groups. Also, it is easier to keep track of our security configuration. So what we have to do is we have to manage permissions with groups. Moving on, we have to restrict access with further conditions. We have to use additional conditions such as MFA, multi-factor authentication, and security groups to ensure that only the right users get access. We have to see that all the users that are using our resources are the trusted ones or not. If someone other than the trusted users, there might be a chance of security breach. So to avoid this, we have to restrict access with further conditions. Apart from this, we have to monitor activity in our AWS account. This we discussed yesterday. By using CloudTrail, we do that. We have to track what data is being accessed by users and what data they are using. The best monitoring for tool for IAM is CloudTrail, which logs AWS API calls and related events made by behalf of an AWS account. So the last one here is we have to create a strong password policies. What this does is this ensures all users have strong passwords and they rotate their passwords regularly. Having a strong password is must, and it is our duty that our users create a strong password. For doing that, we have to create a strong password policy. And the last one here is we have to reduce or remove unnecessary user credentials. We have to run a credential report to identify users that are no longer in use and can be removed. Suppose that there are users who left or who haven't paid us, then we must ensure we have removed them or we have reduced the credentials to them. So these are the practices, some practices through which we can maintain our IAM, Identity Access Management, in a best way. I hope everyone is clear. Let me explain you do again. The first one we have to create is we have to create individual IAM users. Through doing this, we have unique credentials for individual. We can control permissions at individual level. It is easier to redirect credentials. There are no shared accounts used, and it is easier to identify security breaches. And the second one is we have to grant least privilege. That is, we have to give the least permissions for everyone, and through this we can protect our assets. The third one is we have to manage permissions with groups. Through this, what we can do is we can minimize our workload and we can easily add or remove the permissions, and we can easily add or remove the users from the group. The fourth one here is we have to restrict access with further conditions, like we have to use multi-factor authentication in security groups, so that we can ensure that only the trusted ones are using our data. And the fourth one is we have to monitor all the data accessed by the users, and for this we can use CloudTrail. And we have to the fifth one is we have to create a strong password policy, and through this we can have a security. And the last one is we have to reduce or remove unnecessary credentials or people who haven't logged in so far or who have no access to our credentials. So those are the best practices, and I hope everyone is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So today we discussed what are IAM user, what are IAM roles, and what are IAM groups. We discussed how to create IAM users, or how to create IAM groups, or how to create IAM policies or roles. And moving on, we also discussed the best policies in order to the best practices in order to maintain IAM in a perfect way. So that's all for today. So far, IAM user is the one, there are three types of IAM users: admins, end users, and systems. And we must create a IAM user in order to prevent security breaches, and we can have permissions granted to them. Moving on to security credentials, there are 5 security credentials: email address and password, IAM username and password, multi-factor authentication, access keys, and key paste. Moving on to IAM groups, these are the collection of users that have their own set of permissions, and through this we can decrease our workload and have easier access. And the last one here is IAM roles, and IAM roles can be used to provide access to those users or applications and services that don't have permission to the AWS resources to access them. Generally, we give IAM roles to them whom we trust. We saw how to create a IAM user. To create a IAM user, you have to get into Identity and Access Management console. On the left side, you will be having an user option. By getting it and by clicking on it, you will be having an option add user. Here you can add your user. We saw how to create a user. In the similar way, to create a group, get into group, click on create new group, give it a name, attach it a policy, and click on create. Yeah, but if you have to create a role, get into roles, click on create role, give it a name, give it a policy, and give all the details that are required. And by clicking on create role, we will be created with a role. So this is all about identity and access management. Generally, we use identity and access management in every service, in all the services, and all the services here are integrated. So that's all for today, guys. From tomorrow, we'll be starting a new topic. So yes, if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. You can practice how to create how to use these IAMs, and you can create groups, you can create users, and you can also create roles and policies. Yes. So yeah, thank you.